Welcome, everyone, gathered here in live venues and in front of the screens. I am Mateja Jamnik, President of YASA, who will be hosting today's event. We will spend an hour together at a special event, Pariah, performing Europe's historical memory. The event is taking place in 3 live venues, here in Maribor, Slovenia, in Eleusis, Greece, where we are hosted by Virginia Vasilako, and in Mondoufa, France, hosted by Anne Bouchon. In Yerevan, Armenia, Lilith Stepanyan with her crew are joining us only online. And this event is also broadcasted online via Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. You will learn how we were researching and creating together for 2 years, and what we learned about those rare individuals who often remained ignored and pushed to the margins of society, even though they were strengthening the creativity and ethical vitality of society. The event will proceed as follows. After Virginia, a representative of Chorus, who is the project's lead partner, briefly introduces the project. Each project partner will give a short 5-minute presentation. The second part will be more relaxed, conversation by the participating artist. And you, dear viewers, are invited to join. Any question that arises, just write it down in the chat or comment. Our members are constantly monitoring all the records and will pass on the questions to us. So I will hand over the floor to Virginia Vasilako.
Thank you, Mateja, and I hope that you're not getting feedback. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Virginia Vasilako, project leader, and I will introduce you to the project before we move on with presenting the activities that took place in Frankfurt. Pariahs is a project that unearths the collective and historical memory of community regarding marginalized people through art. It was inspired by Panagiotis Farmakis, a houseless figure from Eleusis who collected stones, marbles, and ancient artifacts, preserving parts of the city's heritage despite facing discrimination and violence from locals. Now, back in 2000, a film was made about the locals of Eleusis, including Farmakis. And this kind of made us wonder why the directors specifically chose to focus on someone that the city once viewed as an outcast or a village madman. And we wondered what happened to those people that, if artists do not create art about them. So we wanted to explore if there are other locations with similar marginalized people who unknowingly contributed to their local community. And we wanted to talk to these communities and unearth their memories related to the margins and understand also how art can connect and express these stories. But first, we need to understand what historical and collective memory is in a few brief sentences. Historical memory is a specific form of collective memory, wrote Marcus Brooks in a paper published by the European Parliament. Memory is one of the most difficult areas of social science to define. There may not be a single method for defining the boundaries of the concept of memory. Aleida and Jan Assmann argue that collective memory extends beyond living memory in the historical past, encompassing an entire cultural heritage collectively retained to define group identity. And last but not least, memory is a living concept. It interacts with the daily lives of individuals, groups, and communities, prompting them to participate in a variety of activities. Now, Pariahs Performing Europe's Historical Memory is implemented by 4 grassroots organizations in Greece, Slovenia, France, and Armenia. Throughout the project, we aim to keep local communities engaged through several participatory activities. These activities concluded with 4 showcase events in registered production. In the image, we see a quote written by one of the community members, actually, that participated in a theater workshop in Armenia. And in case you cannot see it, it says, "This was the day when I became a theater player without any skill at my 40s." Now, the project phases. The first phase of the project was dedicated to the community research. This took place in all locations and in collaboration with a researcher from the field of social sciences, Ev Samar, who's affiliated with the University of Glasgow. During these sessions, people discussed memories related to marginalization. In this specific phase, involving a researcher aimed at creating a transdisciplinary collaboration between social scientists and creative professionals, and also to approach community research in a more structured and methodological way. The second phase is the Artistic Residency and Mobility Program, where all artists met in Armenian based on the initial research findings. They began their artistic exploration. Then the program continued with residencies in France and Greece. The third phase included the co-creation sessions that took place in parallel with the residencies, where artists and communities came together to explore artistic expression. The fourth phase included a showcase event where all artistic productions were finally presented. And of course, we're now concluding our project with this very event. Now, taking a quick look at the numbers. Initially, we predicted the community members who will participate in the research to be up to 120. We had 126. Interviews with community members, that was not planned at all, but became a necessity in order to talk to people that were not able to attend the community sessions. We conducted 48 interviews. Co-creation workshops with communities and their respective participants. Initially, we predicted 3 with 30 participants, but we ended up implementing 10, especially in Armenia, because the visiting artists hosted a workshop, and we had 165 participants. Artists in residence, initially we predicted having 2 per country. We ended up having 11 artists, so definitely more than 8. And our audience, initially we predicted 310, and we ended up having 835. So some conclusions, because at the end of the day, what is the thread that connects 4 very different locations? The project highlighted the historical and contemporary connections forged by those living on the margins of history. We observed that these connections link these 4 cities with diverse socio-political contexts through a shared commitment to caring for land, resources, and sharing across boundaries. The project also acknowledges that basically Europe's untold and unseen histories are sustained by its pariahs, and in this case, by pariahs, we mean community, we mean groups, and we also mean individuals that operate outside of the institutional framework and mainstream narrative. Lastly, these marginalized voices have preserved collective memory and knowledge, weaving networks that shape future connections and interdependencies. Matea, back to you for the continuation.
Thank you, Virginia. Lili Stepanian, President of Today Art Initiative, will begin the presentation as they are 3 hours ahead of us and the evening is already turning into the night there.
Thank you, Matea. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to see you today. The project in Armenia was implemented in Yerevan and in New Aintab village. Our research began with meetings involving institutions, researchers, artists, and scientists. This led us to New Aintab village, where the lace factory was established by the repatriated descendants who immigrated from Cilicia during the Armenian genocide of 1915. The factory was founded to revive Cilician lace making and embroidery traditions, which were gradually being forgotten. As a result, we explored the memories of former workers of Aintab lace factory, which brought us to Cilician Armenians who returned from Syria or Lebanon. These individuals carried not only the memories of exiled years, but also the memories of nearly forgotten Cilician embroidery, preserving this important part of Armenian culture and passing it on to the new generations. We started our research with individual interviews, following by 2 community sessions. The first community session was with the former worker of the Antapian lace factory, and the second one was the Cilician Armenians. During the community session with the factory workers, we discussed the establishment of the factory and the aim of continuing the traditions of Cilician embroidery, though this goal unfortunately was not realized. We spoke about the textile production and its connection to Antapian embroidery, as well as the village activities inspired by the factory. During the meeting with Cilician Armenians, the women brought memories and preserved example of Cilician embroidery and lace. Women in Cilicia began working on crafts in a very young age. This was not only a way to create handmade household items, but also a means of preserving their national identity while living in other countries. It connected them to each other after migration and brought them back to Armenia and reunited the community. The first artist in residency program brought artists from partner countries to Armenia to explore historical memory and develop artistic concepts. A few community workshops were held with the local communities. Contemporary dance workshop conducted by the French artists, theater workshop conducted by the Greek artists, needlework masterclass with the aim of connecting Cilician needlework heritage with the village, and a literary workshop led by the Slovenian artists. Then we had co-creation workshop, lace-making workshop focused on learning Armenian lace-making techniques and co-creating together. And leading thread co-creation workshop, which was in France, and invited the community members to sow memories of Mondafa and surroundings. The project culminated in a visual art exhibition in Yerevan, illustrating the historical memory of Cilician Armenians and their descendants who survived displacement. The exhibition featured new produced artworks by contemporary artists, materials from the personal archives of Cilician Armenians, artwork created by the community members, and artwork created by the students from New Aintab village. A live sound performance was presented during the opening. The work displayed in the exhibition reflects a study and validation of research materials and community memories. Presented alongside archival materials serve as a testament to resilience. Though through innovative and enlightening transformation, the bleak experience of exile provide insights into the past and the vision for the future. They uncover the thread that binds the surviving roots of this rich heritage, ensuring its continuity. Thank you, Matea.
Thank you, Lilith. And now we are moving to the French Alps, to the small village of Montoufa, at 1,000 meters above sea level, surrounded by 4,000-meter peaks. Greetings, Anne. French Alps, to the small village.
Hello, everyone. Our role in the project was collecting through contemporary dance who we are as a community today, and then sharing with the dance creation the memories collected during the project.
Mais parce qu'il y a un médiateur, là en l'occurrence le corps, qui est pas présent. Moi je trouve que c'est hyper difficile de rentrer en contact avec d'autres personnes.
There are contexts of lives that we share, but because there is a mediator, in this case a body, which, if missing, I find it very difficult to get in touch with other people. This is one testimony from the 2 workshops about the research we had with dancers and non-dancers. Because we recorded this testimony about what the participants felt and thought during our research with dance, that makes a useful oral archives for our territories. While dancing, we worked on the territory, we worked on the connection to the other, we worked on the common past, and dance allowed us to explore the notion of margin quite deeply, giving ourselves the freedom to get out of the way and to enter it, manage a framework constraint, to see ourselves through the eyes of others. One participant said, like in our society, being on the margins means being able to think with others. In dance, we are more honest about who we really are. That was quite a result for us to hear that. The sociological research made appear that Mont-Dauphin, a UNESCO-protected fortress city dating back to the Middle Ages, occupies a privileged and yet marginal position from the French metropolis, within which it can be seen as an island, as it consciously shapes a French model of a new autonomous ecology in collective consciousness. The sociologists propose a texture to work on in our artistic process. Lace. The symbols present in Armenian lace was heavily impacted us as artists. In particular, the textures of war, loss, and resistance, encapsulated by its motif. Lace was part of the costumes in our performance then. Marble. The soul of Yerevan, Mont-Dauphin, and Eleusis is oversupplied with marble's metamorphic rock. Notably, Mont-Dauphin is known for its pink marble, locally known as marbre de Griestre. The Fontaine des Quatre Coins, where our performance started, is in marble. The word shells as memorized in the 4 countries were drawn on red stones for our performance and reminded this marble. Encircled. All 4 participant cities are encircled by mountains, with Mont-Dauphin the most pronounced of all 4. The cycle was by consequences worked on during the workshops. The key words that appeared during the research in the 4 countries were used as dance improvisation and composition mean. For this dance co-creation, we made improvisation and composition on Armenian music. We had the chance to have live Armenian music during one workshop. We worked on interlocking ourselves, being in the group, out of the group. We worked on these common words I just talked about before. We worked as monsters, being in margin, and we worked as ghosts. This was a creative idea coming back from Armenia. This summer festival Vertical Été in Mont-Dauphin. Here is an extract. You can watch the whole thing on our websites.
Αυτόν τον στόχο είχε στη ζωή, δεν είχε τίποτα άλλο. Να διασώσει τη γυναίκη μετά την ανασκάφη στον χώρο. Και μετά πάλι τελικά έχει βρει αριστουργήματα. Πήγαμε εκεί, σταματήσαμε σε μια παλιά εκκλησία.
Obožujem tudi tisočletne kamne starodavnih mest. Malo nas je.
Εκεί στην παλιά εκκλησία ήταν ένα βοσκό.
Regarde,
Je vis dans une île.
regarde,
Un retour à blanc.
regarde,
Au néant. Au néant. Au silence.
To you, Mateja.
Thank you. And now we, Slovenians, proud Maribor citizens, will share our video story with you. Thank you. Now we, Slovenians,
Društvo Jasa deluje že skoraj 30 let. Osredje naših aktivnosti je pripravljanje posebej koristnih knjig. Naša knjižna zbirka Unežimo svet zapušča opazne sledi v zavesti prebivalstva. Povabilo naj literarno predstavimo junaka, ki je odpadnik, ter naj spoznamo take junake v drugih koncih Evrope, nam je bilo pisano na kožo in nas je razveselilo. Odnos družbe do posameznikov, ki jih okolje doživlja kot posebneže. To pa so v resnici naši sobivajoči, ki imajo močnejšo vez z naravo in osrčjem življenja in so nam zato zelo dragoceni, je bistvena tema. Uživali smo vsak delček tega dvoletnega potovanja in naš pravljični junak Maček je odpotoval skupaj z nami v Jerevan, Mondufin, Elevzino, slovensko prestolnico in okoliške hribe. Vrnil pa se je obogaten z mnogimi izkušnjami. Vse je osvetljeno s knjigo Kaj bi svet brez posebnežev. Več o tem vam bodo povedali sodelujoči ustvarjalci. Prebrali pa bomo tudi stran iz knjige.
Tema je vabljiva, posledično od nekdaj. Bivalnem okolju zagotavljajo največ duhovne razgibanosti, povzročajo pa tudi kdaj kakšno zmedo in odklonilnost. Zato je tema dodatno spodbudna. Je pa dokaj zahtevno osvetljevanje resne teme na način, da bi bil tudi otrokom dojemljiv. Zato je glavni junak Maček, samohodec Maček, ki sliši na ime Maček. Seveda uživijo sem se v bitje posebnega mačka, koji putuje po širnem svetu, spoznava lepe in grde navade mačjega in človeškega rodu. Posebneže spoznava tiste, ki plemenitijo naše življenja in tiste, ki sami ne vedo, kaj bi sabo. Ker Maček opazuje življenje iz perspektive univerzuma, knjiga zagotovo vsebuje nekaj dobrih resnic v življenju.
Ilustriranje pravljičnega romana o mačku, ki potuje po prostranem svetu, je bilo tako kot za glavnega junaka tudi zame pravo doživetje. Preden sem začela z ilustriranjem, sem prebrala tekst, ki me je takoj potegnil zgodbo in postavil tisti čas. Pred mojimi očmi so se začeli odvijati prizori, ki sem jih ilustrirala in vključila v obdelane fotografije. Zgodbe so postajale vedno bolj žive, živahne, barvne in glasne in me posrkale vase. Včasih se mi je zazdelo, da se z mačkom skoraj že pogovarjam, ko skupaj obiskujeva različne konce sveta, spoznavava ljudi in različne običaje. Spoznala sva, da biti drugačen, unikaten, poseben je že prava redkost na tem svetu.
And so, we have a message from the elderly stranger. It is possible to travel into the future and see what will happen to those who come after us. However, not with the help of balls and pebbles, card reading or paws. This can only be done with intelligence. A cat who knows our past and present well and who can connect events can travel into the future. Just like Cat the cat travelled from his time to the distant future and also to our present time. And he wrote down what would happen we see that he was not wrong. I too have travelled into the future, not very far, just as far as I could. See, I was interested in whether the truth about Cat would change anything in the lives of our children and our grandchildren. Those who are angry with Cat the cat become even angrier. The love of the loving will grow even greater. Some of the bitter ones will realise their mistake and join the virtuous, just like the chief of the courtyard did. So, the undecided have found a guidepost. My feline responsibility does not allow me to tell you only what is pleasant to your ears. For the feline race, as for all beings on earth, life will become increasingly difficult. We have broken too many of the threads that connect us with nature. In fact, we continue to break them. This cannot be stopped. It can only be slowed down. The truth about Cat the cat will certainly slow down the breaking of nature's golden threads, at least for a while. This is not much, but it is the most that can be done. That is why I have refreshed the story of Cat the cat. Oh, and one more thing. It is true that there are all kinds of cats. But until you are sure that a cat is not a real cat, respect the oldest truth about our race. Cats are gentle and beloved beings.
You are sure that a cat is not a real cat.
So thank you, Slovenia. And Chorus will be the last one to present. Virginia, the word is yours.
Thank you, Matea. In Greece, the project was implemented in Eleusis, an industrial city which is also home to the famous Eleusinian mysteries, one of the most sacred rituals of antiquity, celebrating goddess Demeter and her daughter Persephone. In Eleusis, though, the contrast of the ancient and industrial heritage is apparent. Modern Eleusis is a major industrial town, and soon after the conclusion of World War II, the city attracted workers from all parts of Greece and beyond to satisfy the demand for a rapidly growing industry. In the project specifically, we explore memories of Eleusis as an industrial hub in a post-war setting, a town that was characterized by increased internal migrant flows, and consequently that came with several instances of marginalization of individuals, families, and even whole communities. Regarding our research, in October 2023, we implemented 2 community research sessions and conducted 33 interviews with individuals. It is essential in this case to connect the memories of the child with the political context and the development of the time and the migration flows that affected multiple generations. So the research focused on one figure, that of Pariahs Summit, who lived between the 30s and the 90s. Pariahs is a figure that literally embodies resistance and marginalization, and even though he had tons of knowledge about various subjects, he's a figure that when asked where he lives, he said on the earth and under the clouds. He's a figure that was treated mostly violently and in a discriminating way, but also kindly and warmly by a few of the locals with whom he formed personal relationships. Pariahs used to collect many stones from all over the city and ended up saving several pieces of the city's inheritance. Some key insights that relate to the marginal communities in post-World War II Eleusis. The marginalized groups in Eleusis at that time thrived by emphasizing relationships, coalitions, and respect for differences. Their experiences led to self-organized socio-political spaces, and these communities relied on self-activity to create spaces for personal growth and self-managed production. Marginalized communities also joined forces to share resources and ideas. create spaces for collective action, organize against social, economic, and political challenges, and build inclusive and supportive networks. Regarding co-creation, co-creating with the community in Lucis involved a movement, voice, and improv workshop that took place in April 2024 and included people of various ages. After some fun warm-up exercises, they were split in teams. They were given tracks that were drawn from the community interviews to work with and created mini performances according to their text. The session then ended with the group creating a collective embodied sculpture. And this one was led by one of the participating artists, Caterina Bayorio. Here we see some excerpts from the co-creation workshop. Regarding our art residency, in April 2024, we hosted 2 artists from Slovenia. They visited Lucis and met with chorus and participating artists. We explored the city and we visited some key landmarks of industrial and ancient heritage. They attended the co-creation workshop, and one of, I guess, the highlights of the residency was visiting the hometown of Farmaki with his nephew. So we had the opportunity to find out more about his past and what kind of routes he walked around the area and about his family life. We also met with locals and learned more about the Elephant culture and traditions. Finally, our artistic production course produced a theater performance, working with all the community introducing personal stories. Through the performance, we had the opportunity to present some memories of the community members about the market, and those memories were on how to post archaeological artifacts, all the adventures that we went through, and how now these are archived and stored at the archaeological site of the Lucis. We also talked about, we presented these interactions with residents with whom we had those personal relationships and other personal memories of community members related to that time. The performance took place at the oil mill factory in Lucis, an industrial heritage building that was renovated and provided by 2023 Lucis European Catholic Culture. And I guess this is one of our favorite quotes that one of the community members said, that Pariahs classic days where others did not see anything of value, did not accept, but also did not believe that anything was interesting, and rescued fragments of our history, our memory, and our cultural heritage. Matea, back to you for the Q&A.
Thank you all for the convincing and charming presentations. A lot happened, a lot intertwined, and a lot was created. We hope that even you, the random viewers, felt the pulse, and you are richer for some knowledge and some encouraging impressions. So we are moving on to the second part of our gathering, where artists and creators of the project will share with us an impression or answer some of your questions sent to us in the chat and comments. We will start with these few questions. For the dancers, Isabel and Lizzie, what it means to be on the sideline and how to experience it with art. How to share collective memory through art. For the embroidery artist Vanya, what did Armenian women hide in their sewing? For the playwright Anna, how did you work with all the material and personal stories to create the theater performance? For the performing artist Katerina, what have you learned from Pharmakis who contributed to society? After hearing the answers, Virginia will forward some new questions. And do not worry, for any question we do not have time to answer during this event, we will post answers on our website, Pariah EU, presently after the event is over. So let's start with Isabel, Lizzie, Vanya, Anna, and Katerina. And to make it simple and time efficient, when the first one ends, the second begins, and so on. So please, ladies.
Hello, and I'm Isa, and marginal state is to propose an alternative to the mass, and oppose is nothing else than to propose. It's true that an artist is by definition a marginal. He stands outside of things to create. The awareness of one's own singularity allows to be in front of the other and to find alternatives in communication. Following the trip to Armenia, the meetings with the various partners and with the population Armenian and French, this is what I relied on to translate this notion into the creation of Un Pas de Côté through dance. Creating the group, being in unison. When I leave the group, my feelings when I am outside the group, how I find the group, how I allow myself to upset others, what characterizes my own margin, how I feel on the fringe, how is the cohesion of my society, of my opinion. These were the ideas, supports, and bases to inspire this creation.
Hi, I'm Lizzie. Nice to see you, everybody. The fundamental question driving this project was, what makes the common? And for me, the answer came from in the form of Mateja's writing workshop in Yerevan. It was a deep dive into collective memory. We gave birth to a shared work, a true patchwork, where each thread represented a voice, a culture, an emotion. The process is transferable to music, visual art, or a movement. The notion of common is central. Beyond knowledge and skills, it's a sensibility that seems to be the common denominator, a shared sensibility towards existential questions, universal emotions, and fundamental human experiences, our strengths and vulnerabilities. That's the best thing I keep from this experience, so beautiful experience.
Arif to everyone, hello in Armenian. In Cilicia, Antep Marashkilis, it was a tradition that the young girl has to embroider several home stuff like bed covers, table runners, slippers, nightgowns, etc. She has to take that combination of threads and love to her future groom's home. Armenian woman whose roots trace back from Cilicia and moved to the motherland from Syria have hidden love, patience, taste, and delicacy in their embroidery. They've also hidden a way to support their families. By reducing family and motherland love to embroidery, each woman became a bearer of culture and history. And as always, I say and believe that the needle is my weapon to live, to survive, and to continue. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I am Anna Tsichli. The question for me is, how did you work with all the material and personal stories to create the theater performance in LFCs? So I was the dramaturg in the group. I worked with the text mostly. And although I have been attending all the meetings from the beginning, my presence was more specific at a certain point when the text of the performance had to be created. For this reason, I based my work on the testimonies, on the personal stories of the people of LFCs that were collected in October. And I tried to put together different chapters of making a kind of story that later could be transformed into a theater play. So I was very thankful to Maria, who and Evie, who were the ones to collect these stories, who had the personal talks, the group talks with all these people. And then with the material I managed to gather, I went into big sessions, big meetings with the creative team, with the theater director and the two performers. And we started trying to find a place for each story, each chapter, making it something more concrete. And this is how the theater performance was created. It was a devised performance. The group participated, the members of the group participated in this creation. It was a very difficult but very fascinating process. We tried to bring the personal stories of the community of Elefsina into a theater performance and bring into focus the Pharmakis as the main character. So this whole thing was structured around Pharmakis and his story through the eyes and the voices of the people of LFCs. Very beautiful, very nice project. I'm very thankful to the group and to all of you. Thank you very much.
The question was, what have you learned for Pharmakis that contributed to the society? Well, from the beginning, I knew that because of Panagiotis, a lot of Assen marbles were saved. But apart from that, that is very, very, very great contribution to our society and to our civilization. And our civilization is a global civilization. So for me, Pharmakis contributed not only to Elefsis, not only to Greece, but to the whole universe. Because of Panagiotis, we have a lot of marbles now that they are saved and they are in the archaeological museum. This is the one part. But the second part, and it was a reveal for me, it was how this person had a great love about people, and all of his life was a contribution to the humanity. We all work and we have a job to earn our money. Panagiotis was different from us. And the question is what we call pariahs. Maybe it is not so pariahs, because Panagiotis was a very educated person and did what the official government in Greece didn't do. So for me, it's a question what we consider important and what is not important. For me, Panagiotis was a chance to have a dialogue about our life, our humanity, and our values. And we are living in a very, very difficult period. And from the testimonies and the interviews and people that spoke about Panagiotis was a gift for me
and it was a hope that there are figures in the history like Panayotis for its humanity and for his love about people without any purpose. This is a great contribution to humanity and civilization. And I'm very happy that I was in this research and this performance that took place in October in Legacies. And I hope that the story of Panayotis in the future, a lot of people know about him and learn about his story. Because when I wish it could be translated, because Anna and the director and all the team did a great job in order to have the text of the performance and learn more about Panayotis, because I cannot transfer you all these interviews and all these stories we had about Panayotis. And when I hear them, I feel very honored that I tell the story of him. So this is a great contribution for me, and I hope it will be continued in a way, because a great, great person. So this is for me. Thank you. Nice to meet you again. And well, I have with me, this is, do you remember that? This is a ring from the workshop from Armenia, from a girl called Anahit. Have it with me today. And because we are searching for a thread that connects us all, I think this is the thread, is the circle. And in Greece, the Asian theaters are circles. And I think I have it with me. And it's a thread with some ring that Anahit gave it to me after the workshop. Nice to meet you, all of you. And I was very, very, very happy to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you for all your honest thoughts and impressions. Actually inspiring thoughts that call for further discussions and reflections. I even got a little bit emotional now when everything is over, and with that ring that connects us. That's so nice. Thank you, Katerina. Thank you, all of you. I would also like to say that. But, you know, the time has no mercy. We have already crossed the outline framework. And we have collected quite a few very interesting and also some humorous questions from you. Look, only these are from here, from my room. And as we promised, we will give the answers to all the questions. We will write them down and publish on our website, pariah.eu. So for now, I would just like to say to you, thank you for all your feelings, thoughts, or your time, and all the necessary informations and projects contacts are also connected on our website and also in the ebook. We spent the last hour very nicely and usefully together, and our gathering now will continue in a relaxed atmosphere of live venues. I wish everyone a pleasant evening and a good night.
Before we close,
Virginia, yes, I see your hand. I couldn't before. Yes, please have a word.
We actually have, for the few minutes we have left, we got an interesting question from YouTube. And I think it's actually nice to share this specifically because it's kind of spot on. The person asked, how do we see sustainability of these great ideas? I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot and have the answer here, but I don't know if anyone else wants to share their thoughts of how to sustain everything that we did. Well, my personal answer here would be that sustainability was kind of integrated in the project through the books that IASA published. It's one way to keep the project results going and remain as a legacy. And also all of our showcase events and co-creation workshops, everything is recorded and it's online. So, I mean, we are very far from each other, but we're trying to use all the digital tools that we have to keep whatever we created going and keep sharing it. That's one way. And another way is that we have been forming all these close relationships and we are getting together in all these organizations in the hope that collaborations will keep happening later. Any other person wanting to jump in?
I agree with
Maybe
you.
I can. Maybe I can tell that we are going to continue the exhibitions and we will have more exhibitions and show the historical memory of Armenian part and also include the digital presentations of the partner countries. And also we are thinking of continuing our research in a way that transforming it in a physical space and establish kind of lace making and embroidery school or small group in Aintab village in order the villagers get connected to Aintabian lace and embroidery and learn the techniques from that. So we have some plans also about this kind of like only local sustainability, but still we are thinking about this, as I said, involving the presentation, also the artworks and art productions from the partner countries.
Thank you. Is there something that somebody would like also share just now? So again, thank you. And let's have a chat together with the friends now with a glass of wine or the tea or the beer. And we will answer all the questions and post them on our website. And as you heard, we will see you soon in the follow-up project. Bye-bye.